Here for JOE.ie with the man, the myth, the legend.
The myth?
Well, maybe not mythical. Ronan Keating, of
thanks
course.
very much. How are you, man?
I'm not too bad, yeah. We're talking about the first ever gig I went to. I said it was Bon Jovi. The first ever gig you went to, can you remember?
Extreme, the band were called. I went because of a song called More Than Words, and I listened to the album. The rest of the album was nothing like that song, but I still had that time of my life. It was in the then Point Depot, which is now called the O234 Arena or something, I believe. Great gig.
Yeah, it's a hell of a thing, I guess, like to go from being a punter and then eventually being someone who would have played that particular venue countless times.
Yeah.
I mean, like, what is that transition like?
Mad, but you don't ever think you deserve it. It never becomes normal. And I think that's a healthy thing. You really, try to enjoy the experience, don't take it for granted. Stages get bigger and they get smaller. That's something you notice as when you're doing it for a while. It gets, all of a sudden you're on a big stage, and then all of a sudden you realise that, things aren't going as well, and the stage gets smaller, and then the next time it gets bigger again. So you have to, it's peaks and troughs, but it's always a privilege.
Yeah, I mean, you sound like someone who's been on the go for over 20 years, because you have. That's what we're discussing, 20 years as a solo artist. I guess take me back to that moment and when that was kind of the next move for you. Was there a fear there, or were you like, no, this is...
Yeah, there was a fear. We all wanted a break from Boyzone. We had 6 mad years, like really mental years of non-stop travel, and loved every minute of it, but it was a pressure cooker, and it was time for us all to, take a break. Richard Curtis was making the movie Notting Hill, so this was kind of, it was a great stepping stone for me. He was making that movie, asked me to sing When You Say Nothing at All, and it was immediate for me. I was catapulted into this a solo situation, and it was incredible. And I got lucky. The movie was, the movie helped the song helped the movie. It was one of these things that, a big moment, like Aerosmith, and I Don't Want to Miss a Thing with whatever that movie was called. They went to blow up a rock coming, so there's moments like that where you'll remember, like 4 Weddings and a Funeral and Love Is All Around with Wet, Wet, Wet. Those songs are as big as the movie's as big as the song. It's like, it's a funny thing, and I got lucky having one of those.
Yeah, it must be a strange relationship as well to be kind of, like that is part of what you do, but it's not everything that you do, of course. Yeah. So, I mean, is there a sense of like, how do I beat this? How do I do the next big thing?
Well, I think, I like working. I like what I do. I believe in graft. I believe in, working hard, and I guess so I never stop. Some people in my situation will stop and say, right, I'll take 3-4 years off now. So an album comes out, and you have an album cycle and a touring cycle, and that can last about 3 to 4 years, I suppose, and then you do it again. Some people take time off afterwards, and they'll go, right, I'll take some time and I'll go and, whatever. I'll do whatever. I don't know, make shoes, who knows. People do different things. I don't do that. I'll literally go from single to album to tour to whatever other project, whether it's a film, a radio show, or whatever. I've never had more than 2 weeks holiday, pretty much 2 to 3 weeks probably max. So yeah, I guess it depends on who you are and how you do it. For me, I enjoy work and I enjoy what I do. I probably live in that frame of mind that I'm scared it'll go away. So if you walk away for long enough, and, there's that insecurity still lies with me today. I think we're all very, very insecure performers. I think we're all deep down, we're very insecure, and I think that can, for some people that can be tough, really tough.
Is it a case of like music then is kind of a form of therapy for you, or?
Yeah, I love being in the studio. I love writing. I love recording. I love to perform. I really enjoy being on the road, touring, performing. Of everything that I do, touring is the most enjoyable part of the whole thing. The promo and the travel can be jading, it can get you down. And now with the way we're traveling at the moment, it can be even harder with like the coronavirus and stuff going on. It can be very, very time consuming and full on, which is understandable. It has to be, but it can be hard.
You mentioned kind of grafting there and the idea of like it being very much 9 to 5, which of course it is. Am I right in saying that you worked in a shoe shop before?
Yeah, not far from here, down on Henry Street. I worked in Corky's shoe shop. It was Simon Hart originally. I started when it was in Simon Hart, when it was called Simon Hart. My brother was working there. He got me a part-time job, and then I started working there, and then they changed it to Corky's, and I had a couple of great years there working part-time. while I was in the first year of Boyzone, I was working in Corky's part-time. I remember after the first Late Late Show, the infamous Late Late Show, walking to Corky's the next Saturday morning, thinking I was like John Travolta, hey, did you see me last night? Hey, I had this music in my head, thinking I was, little did I know how bad we were then. We didn't realise. We just thought we were on the Late Late Show was the best thing ever, And now it's haunted us for 26 years. But, we're lucky, I guess, we have those little moments that, we were successful after that, and we can look back at it and, we can say, yeah, it's all right, we laugh at it. And
you were kind of a meme before memes were a thing.
Yeah, we were the original meme. Yeah.
That's a surreal thing to happen.
It was mad. I mean, surreal, you should try, look at yourself in that situation. Then you think how surreal it is. It's mad. I was 16 years of age. I was told to stand there and do that. And I thought I was going to be in a famous pop band. I was ready.
You probably had to develop a very thick skin straight away. Like, how do you feel looking at pop stars now, like say Billie Eilish, who's just turned 18, and like, how do you kind of graft yourself onto when you were 16, as you say? Like, it must be a really strange world.
We were kind of thrown in the deep end together, the five of us, and there was no questions asked. We just kind of did it. We just got on and did it, and we didn't have any media training, which we should have had. Because you get out there and you say stupid things in the press because we're innocent and we were trying to be funny or whatever. And we didn't have any training or anything. We just got thrown in the deep end, and it was crazy. And things scar you as well. But look, we came out of it fairly well, I think. When you think of something like Billie, I mean, she's on a global scale, she's just huge right now. But she's got her brother by her side. I think she's got her head on her shoulders, that girl. I think she's going to be all right, But you never know what's going on behind the face, So you got to protect people. People need to be protected in every walk of life today more than ever because of social media and the world we live in. But you got to look after one another. And yeah, it's a tough industry, but every industry's tough. Everything seems to be exposed now. There's no curtain anymore. Everybody gets to look behind every curtain and see whatever they want to see.
Yeah, how do you find your own relationship with social media? Because it's mostly kind of just like you strike me as someone who's, despite being in your position, you strike me as a private person. Maybe. I mean, I've lived my whole life in front of the camera, pretty much since I was 16. So, well, I think there's certain things you keep private, yeah, of course. But so much of my life is out there and public knowledge, but my family are everything, and not just my own children and wife, my brothers and sisters and etc. Yeah, you try and protect them as best you can. It's important. It's really important. Yeah, I don't think you've ever really courted celebrity. I've never really.
There's probably times when I did, and early 2000 when I was, life is a roller coaster days. You're hungry. The paparazzi are chasing you. You're on a wave. Yeah, maybe. I don't think I went to extremes others go to, but courting the press. Yeah, I mean, it's part of the game. But social media, you don't need to anymore. I mean, you can do it yourself. You don't need to give it to anybody else.
Yeah, I mean, part of this new album is about your relationship with your fans, and you use the phrase kind of like people growing up with you, essentially.
Yeah, well, they have, and it's from the faces I see in the crowds to the people I meet on the street, they say things to me about, I was there at the beginning, and the stories about the different songs, or I got married to this song, or I was, I had your picture on my wall, and these are people the same age as me. I've grown up with them, they've grown up with me. It's been that, because I was a certain age. I was the same age as they were when I was having hit records. With Boyzone, 16, 17, 18, that's the age they were. They were listening to pop music, especially in the 90s when pop music was king. So it's, we all grew up together, and it's mad. It's 26 years have gone by. I think you freeze yourself in a certain age as well, doing what I do. And being in Boyzone kept us all young. I don't think I've ever, in my head, got past 18, 19. I'm still there,
Oh, I think everyone's winging it. I feel like a kid, man.
Yeah, that's it. How old are you?
35.
30, wow, you're
it's
young,
on camera
man.
now.
Man,
everyone knows.
Everyone knows. You're in trouble, man. No, they found you out. I'm 43 now. I it was my birthday yesterday. I was 43 yesterday, and wow, I can't believe I'm 43. I remember when my dad was in his 40s, when I was a kid, and I thought, wow, my dad's old. 43. I have a 21-year-old son. Well, he's 21 next week. It's crazy how time has gone so fast. But I still feel young. I still have a hunger and I want to do this. It's not a chore. I love what I do. I think, there's complications in, certain things and the way we do things today, but I still have a great passion and love for what I do.
Yeah, I think there's the scariest thing, scarier than when you're a kid and learning that Santa Claus isn't real. Spoiler for Santa Claus there, but yeah, sorry man, I apologise. I think it's time. I think you need to know. It's okay though.
No,
we can talk about this properly off, like when the camera stops rolling.
All right, man, you're messing. Yeah, okay.
But I think it's that thing of when you realise that your parents and your teachers are just winging it.
Well, that's the thing. That's it. That's true.
Fuck,
Yeah, and how you lived in fear with the teachers and stuff. Not like your parents. You didn't live in fear, but with the teachers, you definitely did. You lived in fear of the principal, and they were just dudes. With a job.
But is it it must be hard to just have that normality, given that you're literally in front of lights right now. You're about to release a 20th anniversary solo record. It's very surreal.
Yeah, but you try not to think, because when you start doing that, oh, this is surreal. You start putting yourself in a certain frame of mind. This is surreal. This is my life. This is what I do. I chose to perform. I chose this. It's what I work on all the time. Other bands come to me and I've helped them out, whether it's Codaline or the Wild Youth guys or Amy. It's trying to help them and guide them. That's all I ever want to do with anyone like that is try and help them, because I know what the pitfalls are, and I'm not a manager or try to be a manager, but I've tried to help these acts and these bands along the way. Some know better, so you just walk away and you let them do their thing. But sometimes some listen.
I guess lastly, is there any kind of one thing you can point to? I'm sure there's been numerous, but was there any one moment across 20 years where it was a real I'm sure you've had lots of pinch me, I'm dreaming moments, but just something that felt like a totally unique thing that you were a part of or that you witnessed? Or
yeah. I mean, there are moments when you see footage of Boyzone, of all of us standing next to Pavarotti, let's say, in Modena in Italy. I can't actually physically remember that moment very clearly, the standing on stage. It was so crazy. I remember being backstage. I remember the dinner afterwards. I can't remember it. So when I get to see that footage and hear all of us singing with Pavarotti, it's like, was I there? Did that happen? It was mad. Crazy. I'm sure Pavarotti, Lord rest his soul, would look back on it and thought the same thing about, what am I doing? I can't believe I stood with Boyzone.
Definitely,
yeah. Definitely.
And I guess, if you go back to that Ronan Keating who's going to work after the Late Late Show, walking down the street thinking he's the man, what would you tell him now?
Enjoy yourself a little bit more. I think, as well as, I think I took myself very seriously 16, 17, 18, 19, because I wanted to be professional. I wanted Boyzone to work. I wanted to be the best I could be. I took it very seriously, and the one bit of advice I'd give myself is go and enjoy yourself, Take everything with a pinch of salt and enjoy it a bit more, because it went by so quick, those 6 years. It was gone, and they were such brilliant years.
Well, here's to another 20. Thanks so much for talking to us.
Thanks, man. Nice to see you. Thank you.